There is a city, smaller than a modern airport, but powerful enough to start empires, ignite wars, and shape three of the world's greatest religions. A city claimed by kings, prophets, conquerors, and believers for over 3,000 years. This city is Jerusalem. But why does the whole world care? Jerusalem stands on a ridge of the Judean hills, between desert and sea, between Africa and Asia, a crossroads of ancient trade, armies, and pilgrims. This is where the physical world and spiritual history collide. For thousands of years, people walked here seeking meaning, miracles, and answers. And out of this small city, three global religions were shaped. To Christians, Jerusalem is the place where the story of salvation unfolded. Here, Jesus taught. Here, he was betrayed, judged, crucified. And here, Christians believe he rose from the dead, changing the course of human history. The Church of the Holy Sepulchre stands as a monument of hope, rebuilt after fires, wars, and destruction, because believers never let the story die. For the Jewish people, Jerusalem is more than sacred. It is home. Here stood the first temple, destroyed, rebuilt as the second temple, destroyed again. And yet, despite exiles, persecutions, and centuries far from this land, the dream remained alive. Every year, every generation, every prayer ended with the same words. Next year, in Jerusalem. The Western Wall today is a symbol of survival, a fragment of stone holding thousands of years of memory. For Muslims, Jerusalem is the place of the night journey, where Prophet Muhammad ascended to heaven. The Dome of the Rock and Al-Aqsa Mosque are among the holiest sites in Islam. For more than 1,300 years, caliphs, scholars, and guardians protected this land as a sacred trust. Jerusalem became a spiritual capital, a beacon of faith, learning, and devotion. But Jerusalem is not only about faith and religion, a city only 1 square kilometer wide, yet fought over more than any place on earth. Today, we travel through time to witness the battles that shaped Jerusalem's soul.
Our story begins more than 2,500 years ago. Jerusalem stands proud under the kingdom of Judah, but the storm is coming. The Babylonian Empire, led by King Nebuchadnezzar II, surrounds the city. For months, famine and fear grind the population down. At last, the walls fail. The Temple of Solomon, the heart of Jewish faith, is destroyed. Thousands are exiled to Babylon. This becomes the first great tragedy in Jewish history, a wound still remembered today. Seven centuries later, Jerusalem rises again. But rebellion against Rome brings destruction. General Titus leads one of history's most brutal sieges. The Romans surround the city, cut off supplies, and slowly squeeze Jerusalem to death. The Second Temple falls in flames. The city is torn apart. For the Jewish people, this becomes the defining moment of exile, and the reason the Western Wall is still sacred today. It is all that survived. In the 7th century, the Christian Byzantine Empire rules Jerusalem, but a new power rises, the Persian Sasanian Empire. The Persians, with help from Jewish allied forces, storm the city. Churches fall, thousands die, and the true cross, Christianity's most sacred relic, is captured and taken to Persia. For a brief moment, Jewish life returns to Jerusalem. But this fragile victory will not last. Just 24 years later, the world changes again. Islam expands across the Middle East, and Jerusalem becomes its next destination. Unlike previous conquests, this one ends with negotiation, not destruction. The Byzantine defenders surrender peacefully. Under Muslim rule, Christians keep their churches. Jews are invited back after centuries of exile, and a new landmark rises, the Dome of the Rock, one of Islam's holiest sites. In 1099, Europe answers the call of the First Crusade. Tens of thousands march to reclaim Jerusalem for Christianity. After a furious siege, the Crusaders break the walls. For 2 days, the city becomes a nightmare of fire and steel. Jerusalem becomes a Christian kingdom, but it will not last. In 1187, Salah ad-Din, Saladin, unites the Muslim world and marches on Jerusalem. Instead of slaughter, he offers mercy. The city surrenders. And once again, Jerusalem changes hands. After centuries of battles, the Ottomans bring long-awaited stability. Suleiman the Magnificent rebuilds the walls that still stand today. In 1917, British forces take Jerusalem from the Ottomans. In 1948, the Arab-Israeli War divides the city. In 1967, during the Six-Day War, Israel captures East Jerusalem. Jerusalem has been conquered more times than almost any city in history, yet it has never truly been owned. Empires rose here and fell. Armies marched through these gates and disappeared into history. For some, Jerusalem is a promise made by God. For others, it is the place of sacrifice, resurrection, and redemption. For others still, it is where heaven and earth once touched. The stones remember everything. They have seen faith turned into fire, and hope rise again from ashes. Jerusalem teaches us a difficult truth. That belief is powerful enough to build civilizations, and strong enough to destroy them. And yet, despite centuries of war, exile, and division, the city still stands, not as a relic of the past, but as a living reminder of humanity's deepest longings. Jerusalem is not just a place on a map. It is a mirror of who we are and who we hope to become.